editing Devin here. I apologize for the absolutely awful quality of this clip right now. I'm literally using the camera on my MacBook because I just sat down to edit this video and I realized that I did not film an intro. I don't know what I was doing. So the look that we're doing today is a full tutorial. I show you my full face of makeup, and I was just in the mood to do a really fun, standard kind of glam summer look with a nice bright red lip. Also in this video, the majority of products that I use on my face are products that I featured in my most recent video, which was my Ulta haul. So this is kind of a follow-up to that with a tutorial using some of the products that I showed in that video. So if you guys are interested in that, again, my apologies for the crappy quality of this intro, but let's get right into the look. All right, you guys, let's get right into it and start doing some makeup. To start, I'm just gonna do my brows. So I'm gonna use my ColourPop brow pencil in the shade Brunette. Okay, so honestly, I think my consensus on this is that I don't like this brow pencil formula. I'm pretty sure that ColourPop has two skinny brow pencils like this. One is just called Brow Pencil and one is called like Brow Boss or something. And I think that I get them mixed up because I'm pretty sure I like the Brow Boss one, but this just like plain one that just says Brow Pencil like this. I don't think I like this. I feel like it takes me way too long to do my brows with that one. But regardless, I'm just gonna go ahead and clean them up underneath now. So I'm just getting a little bit of concealer on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna use my brow brush. Okay, now I'm gonna prime with this little guy. I don't believe this is available anymore. This is a ColourPop cream shadow that was a part of their Wild Nothing collection, I believe, which was a year, maybe 2 years ago at this point, because that came out when I still lived in Philly. But regardless, just use whatever you have to prime your eyes. Okay, for eyes today, I want to use this BH Cosmetics Amore in Amalfi palette. It's just a beautiful kind of warm neutral palette. So I really love the BH Cosmetics travel series, and during the holidays they were having a huge sale where all of these palettes were like $5. So I bought, I'm not kidding you, almost all of them. I probably bought like 6 or 7 of these travel series palettes, thinking like I'll do a whole series on my channel. We love BH Cosmetics. And then not long after that, they announced that they were going bankrupt, and a lot of stuff is out of stock on their website and on Ulta. So I don't even know if you can find this anywhere at this point, but I've still been wanting to use it. So I'm gonna use it today. If you have this, pull it out. If you don't, I mean, I'm sure that there's a palette out there with a similar color scheme. So first, really quick, I'm just gonna set down my primer with a little bit of translucent powder. I'm just using my e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder. I am on my very last leg of this. I honestly might run out of it during this video and have to toss it after, but really a good drugstore setting powder, and it's just because this doesn't really have like a shade that I would use to set down my primer. So I want to do a pretty simple, neutral, just kind of glam eyeshadow look today because I do want to do a red lip as well. So I think I'm going to start up here in this shade. It's called Monte Fito. If I get all these pronunciations right. Typically my Italian pronunciation is pretty good, but you never know. So I'm just getting that on a nice fluffy blending brush, and we're gonna work it into the crease. So yeah, guys, I was pretty sad when I first heard the news about BH Cosmetics going bankrupt. I love them. I feel like I have featured them a lot on this channel. They're one of my favorite affordable makeup brands, especially for eyeshadow palettes and also brushes. So many of my brushes are BH Cosmetics at this point. So I really hope they survive. I don't think that they are like officially dead yet because they were recently acquired by Revolution Beauty, I believe. So I do think that there is kind of a chance that they survive, but also being acquired by Revolution, I just wonder like, will they keep kind of the same brand identity? Like, would they keep something like this travel series? Would they kind of run their products the way that like people who like the brand already like, or are they going to do a rebrand? Are their products going to be a lot different? Like, you know what I mean? Will the themes be the same? Will the themes be different? It's just kind of like a lot of questions, and I actually haven't done a ton of research on this, so the answers to these questions could be out there and I just don't have them yet. But I do hope that they stick around, and in particular, I hope that they keep this travel series around because it is so good, and the eyeshadow formulas are really good, and I'm obsessed with the face palettes that are in this travel series collection. They have a great brush set, and I think it's such a cute theme too. So I hope they stick around, but it's kind of tough to say, you know? I just think it's so funny because I should have known like all these palettes were on sale for $5 during the holidays. Like that was a really good deal. I should have known something was up. Okay, next I think I'm gonna jump over to this shade. It's called Villa Ruffolo. I don't know. I'm just getting it on a little brush like this. And I only dip my brush into the color maybe like twice. So I don't have too much pigment on the brush right now because I just want to see how dark it is. But I am just starting this in the outer corner. So really focusing it out here, and then as always, I do let it kind of migrate up to the brow bone a little bit as well. Again, if you've watched my channel, you know that's because I have a very strong brow bone here. So I do like to take my blending shades up pretty far, but if you have smaller eyes or if you don't like to do that, you don't have to. It's definitely personal preference. So I'm using this brush both to pack it on and then also kind of soften and blend it up and out. Maybe I'll even go crazy and just blend a little bit of that all the way in as well. Okay, for the lid, I'm going to come down into the shade Positano right here. We'll see how this goes. On the brush, I'm actually thinking this might look a little orange. I think it looks all right. It's nice and bright. This palette is definitely very, very warm toned. And then once I have the shimmer placed where I want it, I'm just taking my blending brush again and just softening through the crease to make sure there's no harsh lines, everything's blended. Pretty. Okay, and then for inner corner and brow bone highlight, I'm gonna pop down one shade. I'm gonna feel ridiculous pronouncing this, but I believe the way that you would say this word in Italian would be chettata, because C next to a vowel typically makes the CH sound in Italian. Fun fact. So anyway, I'm just gonna get that on a small brush like this. This is a JH42 from Morphe, and I'm just gonna use that color to highlight my brow bone. Okay, now it's time to take a makeup wipe and clean up. And I am gonna do a snatched edge here today. So I'm gonna just start right at the outer corner and do a nice sharp line all the way up to the tip of my brow. Okay, we're gonna move on from the eyes for a second. We'll come back to them after we do our face, but now we're gonna work on the complexion. So to prime, I'm gonna use two things today. One is new, one's an old favorite. So first, I'm gonna go in with my NYX Plump Right Back with electrolytes, plumping serum, and primer. So I'm just gonna get maybe like 2 pumps on my hand. So this is a recent release from NYX, and it has been on my wish list since I first saw it. Anything that's kind of plumping and juicy and hydrating is the primer for me. Now this one doesn't feel like it's super grippy or sticky, but that being said, it doesn't feel like it doesn't have any grip to it either. But it does feel really nice and hydrating on the skin, which I really, really like. So this is probably only my like second or third time trying this on my face, but I do think I like it so far. It's a little pricey for the drugstore. I think it was like $17 or $18, which you're kind of getting up there in price range. NYX kind of is like that though, but I do like it. It is fragranced, however, and it's not like a sweet smell. It does smell a little perfumey, which I don't love, but for the most part, my first impression of it is that it feels really nice on the skin. But I do still want to fill in my pores on my nose. So I am going to take a little bit of my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer as well, just to get on my nose here. And as you can see, I've really used a lot of this. So, but this little thing goes such a long way. I feel like I've had that primer forever and it's still going. For foundation today, I'm going to use my ColourPop Pretty Fresh foundation. I feel like I haven't used this in a bit. This is in the shade Medium 80W. The self-tan that I used this week is a little bit more golden, and this is a warmer foundation, so I think this will work. I might have to mix maybe just like a drop of my lighter neutral toned one. This is Light 40N. Might just have to mix a little bit of that in there just to neutralize it a little bit. Okay, and then I picked this up recently at Ulta. I heard a lot of hype around this, so this is another thing that's kind of been on my list of things to try. So this is the Milani Supercharged Brightening Under Eye Tint. This is in the shade 110 Pink Rose. I believe they have a lighter and a darker. I don't feel like I have too many dark circles or anything like that, but I'm always down to play with new products, and I feel like a lot of people raved about this when it first came out. So before we do concealer, we're gonna do a little under eye brightening today. So I just got a little bit of that on the back of my hand, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use my blending sponge, just get it right on the tip there, and I'm gonna apply this right underneath my under eyes. Oh wow, that's very brightening. Wow, I didn't even use that much. This is like a very, very light layer. And can you guys tell the difference? Look how much brighter this under eye is than this one. And it's blending out really, really, really smoothly. It doesn't feel, I feel like it definitely has maybe a little bit of a dewy finish, but it doesn't feel heavy or greasy or anything. It's a nice light layer. That is really nice. Yeah, that's really pretty. I really feel like that did really brighten up my under eyes and just, you know, make me look a little bit more awake. Okay, and then that being said, I am going to put a little bit of my normal concealer on top. So this is nothing new. This is my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in the shade Light Sand. I definitely should try to pick up some different concealers to use for you guys because I'm constantly using this. But because we already have that brightener underneath, I don't want to go too crazy with my concealer. So just use kind of a lighter hand. And then I'm just gonna blend over top. So this Light Sand concealer just has a little bit more of like a warm, almost golden undertone. That corrector is more of a pinky tone, like a pinky peachy tone. So it's really meant more to be just that, a color corrector. And then I still wanna have a little bit of this concealer shade on top just to look more like my skin tone, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm not going to do cream bronzer or anything like that today, so I am just going to go ahead and start setting everything down. So I'm going to use my e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder. This really is on its last leg, so I'm going to get as much out of here as I possibly can. And I'm just going to set my face. So I like to take my sponge and set my under eyes. And you don't have to use like a heavy amount of powder for this. You can really just do a nice light layer. I also am loving using this Real Technique sponge. I haven't used one of these in a while, and I forgot how much I loved this sponge. And I almost forgot, but I actually brought my ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder foundation in here to try, because I bought 2 of these, like a light and a tan one, and I have like not even used this. So I actually am gonna use this to set the rest of my face. So I have my tan shade in the shade Medium 11N. So I'm just gonna get this on a nice fluffy powder brush, and I'm gonna use this to set the rest of my face. So the way that I'm doing this, it will provide some light coverage for you, but since I'm using it on a brush, like a fluffy brush like this, it'll just be kind of a little bit. You can use something like this little powder puff and actually use this just as your foundation if you don't want to use a liquid. I used to do that all the time. Like in high school and college, I used Bare Minerals and Pure, like their powder foundations all the time. I didn't use a liquid as much, which is just so funny to think about now. I feel like that was like the thing, you know, that like Bare Minerals foundation. And now I like can't imagine only using a powder foundation. It's just funny how things change, and like I really felt like I was like that bee with makeup back in the day, and I really had no clue what I was doing until like after college was when I feel like I really actually started learning how to do makeup, but it's just funny. For bronzer today, I'm gonna use this palette. This is the Tanned In Tulum palette from BH Cosmetics. It is a 6-color bronzer and highlighter palette, so obviously you can see you have 4 bronzers right here. I typically use these top 2 because I think these ones are just a little bit too deep for me, but I think this is a great palette if you kind of are in that medium / medium deep range. So first I'm just gonna take my little bronzer brush, and I honestly, if you see what I just did there, I just kind of like mix between these 2 shades. And then I start on either side of my temples and I just kind of work it in. I like to use more of a tapping motion. Like I'm not swirling it, you know, I'm not rubbing it. I like to use more of a tapping motion to just kind of like push it in and blend it. And typically I do like to work in layers with my bronzer. Like I'll do 1 layer, see if I want to build it up, see if I like the depth of it. Because I don't want to do too much too quickly, but I also do want to make sure we are nice and bronzed. I don't want it to look like I want my bronzer to show, because I don't want my complexion to look flat. So I want to make sure that we can see the bronzer, but I also don't want to do too much at once. And then once I've done my forehead, I just come around the side of my face here, right on my cheekbone. Because this is bronzer and not contour, you really want to stay like right here along your cheekbone, whereas contour is kind of more just like hugging right up underneath your cheekbone. Bronzer is meant more to just kind of like hit the high points of your face where the sun would naturally hit your face first and give you a tan. That's what bronzer is kind of trying to mimic. All right, and then once I've done the matte bronzer, then I will just go into these 2 shades. You can like honestly see it right here where I just kind of drag my brush between the 2. And I like to use this type of brush for this. This is a Luxie 640 Pro Precision Tapered Brush. So it's nice and fluffy, so it's not gonna be too heavy. This is basically just like a bigger version of a highlighter brush, which works perfectly for this because this bronzer topper really is like a highlighter that's just too dark for me to truly highlight. And using a bronzer topper is totally like an extra step that isn't necessary at all. But I do feel like it provides a nice base for your highlighter, or if you don't really love highlighter, but you do still want just like a little extra glow, doing a bronzer topper like this is a way to make it just a little bit more subtle. So all I'm telling you is you got options, girl. That's all I'm saying. Okay, for blush, another absolute favorite product that I hope stays around forever. This is the Glowing in Grease face palette. So kind of a similar concept. We have 3 matte blushes across the top, and then we've got some highlight / blush topper shades down the bottom here. These are absolutely my tones. If you've watched my channel before, if I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. Like these peachy toned blushes are the absolute love of my life. And I do love how there's a nice range here from light to dark, so that, you know, depending on your skin tone, there's a blush in here for you. So 9 times out of 10, what I do with this palette is I just do a little mixeroo of these two. So it's Mykonos and Paros. Just get that on my blush brush. This is a Luxie 504 large angled brush. Love it for blush. And these are pigmented, so be careful. I tend to get a little carried away with the amount of product that I put on my brush. The amount of blush I put on my brush, but you don't need a ton. And then just for fun, because we're here, I am just gonna take a little bit of these two and make like a little blush topper. And we're really gonna get glowy today. And then actually for highlighter, because I did just realize that I didn't actually bring a separate highlighter in here, I am gonna take the shade Athens on my highlighter brush and use that as like a true highlight step in this routine. Guys, I just realized I forgot to use my new concealer. Did I not say when I was doing my concealer, oh my gosh, I have to get a new concealer to try out for you guys, so I'm not always using this one. I had one and I totally forgot. This is the new Bear With Me concealer serum from NYX. Dang it. That's okay, because this is like a tan shade and I actually want to get a lighter shade of this as well. So I'll save this for another video, but dang it. I had this. I wanted to use it today. I'm a mess. All right, let's throw some brow gel in before I forget. This is the NYX Brow Glue. I just got a fresh bottle of this as well. It really, I mean, when they say glue, it's gluey, but it really is the only thing that even remotely holds my eyebrows in place at the moment. So I am just gonna throw some of that in my brows now that we're done kind of messing around with the complexion. Let's get some mascara on. So I am gonna use the Essence Lash Princess False Effect in the waterproof formula. I mentioned in my clean girl makeup tutorial that I really liked the original formula. I buy into the hype that mascara gets, especially because it's literally $3.99. But I did pick up the waterproof formula recently and I so far have been liking that as well. So I'm just gonna curl up my eyelashes and then apply that mascara as normal. Okay, for lashes today, I am feeling a little drama because I feel like this look warrants it. So I am going to pull out a fresh set of my old favorites. These are the Eylure Luxe Silk Lashes in the style, I almost said in the shade, in the style Marquise. Freaking love these. They are a nice rounded lash, which I like. Typically, I like more of a round lash than like a tapered lash, but it really, you know, I like a tapered lash too. It just depends on the look, but these are just, in my opinion, stunning if you like a dramatic lash. So I am just gonna apply some glue to these and pop them on my eyes. Okay, lashes are on. Love it. So really quick, I am just going to touch up my inner corner highlight now that we've done the rest of our makeup. So I'm just picking up this shade right here again, and I'm putting it on a little pencil brush, and I just want to make sure that inner corner still pops, just because I think it looks pretty. That's the only reason. But it can also get lost, like especially, I always do it when I'm doing my eyes just so that I kind of don't forget to do it all together. But I always do feel like, especially after you're done blending your concealer and everything like that, you kind of need to just touch it up a little bit. Okay friends, now for the finishing touches for the final, I don't even know what to call it, like just the grand finale. There you go. That's what I was looking for. The grand finale, the red lip combo. I'm so excited. I've tried this formula before, but I've never tried this color, and I haven't tried these lipsticks yet, but I've heard a million good things. So first we're gonna line the lips. So this is one of my favorite lip liner formulas. It's NYX, it's from the drugstore. This is their Slide On, Glide On, Stay On, and definitely a turn on waterproof extreme color lip liner. It's a very long name. This is in the shade Red Tape. I love this formula. I feel like I've loved it for years. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips. Okay, so I'm not gonna fill all of my lips in with the lip liner because this color is actually a little bit more of a blue red than I was expecting, which is not a bad thing, but I was expecting a little bit more of a warmer red. That's kind of what I wanted for this look, and I'm hoping that this lipstick gives me that. I feel like it does look like it has a little bit more just of like an orangey red to it, as opposed to, again, this, which feels like a little bit more of a blue red. So I'm just gonna leave that lip line as it is because I want the star of the show to be this lipstick, hopefully, if it's the color that I want. So this is the, I'm about to put it on and I didn't even tell you what it is. So this is the Milani lipstick. It's not the matte formula, it's the other one. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but it's in the shade 150 Role Play. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this. Yeah, that's the orangey, like fire engine red that I wanted. Okay, so yes, gorgeous, 10 out of 10. This is exactly the color that I wanted. So even though this lip liner color didn't really work, I remember like when my sister and I were in Ulta and I was trying to find a red lip liner specifically to match this color, we were having a hard time picking out a lip liner that we thought would exactly match. Because again, I really wanted more of like that orangey red as opposed to a blue red. But that being said, I feel like you can't even tell. This color is just like the perfect warm, just beautiful red for summer. I typically go for the more blue toned reds in the winter. That's more like my holiday red Christmas lip, if that makes sense. But something with this undertone is a lot more summery for me. I will say it is a creamy formula. I feel like I went a little crazy when I first applied it. I did just like, you can see my dirty little paper towel here. I did just kind of like kiss a little bit of it off. Because I do feel like this probably could move quite a bit on the lips because the formula feels very creamy and emollient. It does feel very nice and hydrating on the lips, but that's just something to be aware of. For me, it doesn't make or break it because I'm obsessed with this color. And again, like I said, it is very comfortable. So big win for that. I can't wait to try out more colors in this formula. I knew this was gonna be good, but now that I'm wearing it, I'm like, this is so good. Okay, one last step before we go. Let's just do setting spray really quick because why not? So this is my ColourPop No Filter setting spray. This is supposed to be their matte one. I've used this a couple times. I don't have a fully formed opinion on this yet. If you can see all of that like at the bottom, this is literally like powder. It's a matte setting spray and it's supposed to have powder in it. To me, I don't know how I feel about that. It does tend to just kind of like settle at the bottom there when I'm storing it, and it is pretty difficult to shake up. It doesn't really feel like it moves very much. So I don't know. Let's just go ahead and give it a good spray. Yeah, see, the thing about this, when it comes down to it, it just smells like, you know, an Urban Decay all-nighter. It just kind of smells like your typical mattifying setting spray that definitely smells like alcohol, you know? That's what this smells like. It very much has that Urban Decay all-nighter smell to it, so I don't know that it necessarily matters that it has that like powder in it or not, but I don't know, we'll see. I definitely have to use it more. Again, I don't have a fully formed opinion on it. I love the Pretty Fresh setting spray, which is more of like a dewy, glowy setting spray, but we're heading into summer here in Tampa. Like it's May something. It's the beginning of May when I'm filming this, and it was almost 90 degrees out today. So we're getting there, and I might need a setting spray like this instead of a glowy one for the next few months. All right, my friends, we're done. That is going to be it for this makeup look. Do we love it? Because I think I love it. I love a good dramatic smoky eye, but there is just something about a good like classic makeup look with a red lip and beautiful glam lashes like this. I just am so obsessed with it. So if you were feeling like you needed a little spring and summer red lip makeup inspo action, I hope this video gave it to you. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for this tutorial. So if you made it this far in the video and you have not already subscribed to my channel, please do so by hitting that subscribe button down below. I would love to have you join me here. You can also follow me on Instagram. I am at DevDevGregs over there as well. And with that, I will catch you in my next one. Mwah. Love you. Bye.